Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Roll Estate. This is the digital adaptation of the print and play game. I'll put a link to that in the below description. I believe you can get it print and play wise for roughly $3. The Tabletop Simulator version is free, assuming that you own Tabletop Simulator. So what is Roll Estate? Well, as the name implies, this is a roll and write kind of game. It's similar to Yahtzee and Monopoly, kinda, sorta. It's like Yahtzee in the sense that you've got 5 dice, you're going to be rolling them, you get 2 free re-rolls, and then whatever result that you end up with, you're going to be marking off something on your player grid here, your player card. And I say it's like Monopoly because you're going to be trying to claim businesses in this game. Think of them as like houses or whatever. As you write things down. Let's say that I write a 3 here, and let's say a 4 here, and I'll get to why that is in a minute. If I completely fill this in like so, I can claim a business, assuming I'm the first one to do so. So I might want to like put a check mark there. That's a check, sure it is. My Tabletop Simulator drawing skills are atrocious, just for the record. But you get the idea. You're going to be rolling dice. You're going to be marking off one thing on your turn in an effort to try and get the most points. The game ends when a player opens 3 businesses or cannot claim a rental property. Rental properties being these spaces in green here. There are other things you can claim besides rental properties. For example, if you get a sequence of 4 dice, if you get any 4 dice here, you can claim the red line. These are unique, so if one person claims a red line, no one else can claim the red line. If someone claims the blue line, then you can't claim the blue line, and so on. The blue line, you have to roll a sequence of 1 through 4. Yellow line is 2 through 5, and the purple line is 3 through 6. Then you've got mass transit. You can see what your scores are for that. So if I got a red line and a yellow line, that would be 2 routes, and that would be 100 here on the right-hand side. So I get 100 points for that. Sure, that's 100. I swear I can write in real life. It's just Tabletop Simulator makes it difficult. Anyway, stock portfolio is sort of like your chance space in Yahtzee. You're just going to take the sum of all your dice and write them in here. Let's say you got like 33, whatever. Now, there's a multiplier. If you happen to get a sequence of 5, you can, for your turn, mark one of those off. If you happen to get another one through your turn, you can take another sequence of 5 space. Why are you doing that? Well, if you take a look at the middle here, at the end of the game, you'll score whatever this value is times either 1, times 5, or times 10. And that depends on how many sequences of 5 that you marked off here. There's also this pick 5 lotto. If you happen to match all 5 dice, get 5 of a kind, then you can mark that space off and get 150 there. And then you'll be adding up your entire scores across the board to get your grand total. Let's go ahead and erase all these lines here. So that's the general gist of the game. Now, the rules will change depending on how many players you're playing with. The game supports 1 to 5 players and takes roughly 30 to 40 minutes. There's solo player roles, there's 2 player roles, and there's 3 to 5 player roles. The 3 to 5 player roles are listed on the board here. In a 2-player game, you're not going to use the second column, I think it said. So, let's see if I could just quickly jump to that here. 2-player Roll Estate. In a 2-player game, do not use the second 2 column. Yeah, so in these, and on your card here, there's first 2, and then there's second 2. So the first player to get all these residential things will get to mark that off. Second player gets to mark that off. But in a 2-player game, you're not going to observe this is fine. But you're not going to observe these 2 there in a 2-player game. In a solo, it's a little bit different. The game will not end when, according to this, it says, a game ends when a player opens 3 businesses or cannot claim a rental property. That's not true in a solo game. You're going to try and claim as many of these businesses as you possibly can. And depending on your difficulty that you chose, it'll say easy. You need all businesses claimed, all of these checked off, and $300 in investments. So there's, again, there's real estate, investments, which is all of this stuff down here, and then your final score. So that is the general gist of the game. I'm not going to like go through an entire game. I'm not going to read off all the rules to you. I just wanted to introduce you to this because it's a really cool idea. It's a nice little play on Yahtzee and, again, a little bit of Monopoly with the whole, set collection thing to unlock a business. So anyway, let's go ahead and just take a turn or two just to show you what it's like. So to use Tabletop Simulator, you're just going to click and drag the dice. You're going to hit R a couple of times to roll them, and that's what I end up with. So I might have to re-roll this one. It says 5 on the tooltip, so I'll just treat it as a 5. So, again, I can choose to re-roll these if I want to. Now, the way to mark these off, to mark off this row here, I can only sum up the ones. And I can only go from left to right. So, let's take a look at our 6s. I might want to do something like this. Sum of 6s only. Let's see if I can roll more 6s with the 3 that I've got left. So I'm going to go ahead and take these and roll them. That's I can't tell. It looks like a 6 to me. Yeah, it's catty corner. There we go. So we got 6, 6, 6. Let's see if we can roll this one more time. We didn't. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 3 6s as my roll. The sum of 3 6s. So what you're going to do is you're going to fill in any of these 3 spaces, but you have to fill them in from low to high. So I could not do... I rolled an 18 with my 6s here. So I could... If I put the 18 here, I'd have to roll the next highest multiple of 6 sum, which would be 24. And then I'd have to put a 30 in there as my next, which is near impossible. And plus, if I got 5 of a kind, I'd want to put it over here on the all 5 dice match spot. So ideally what I may want to do with this, with my 3 6s there, maybe I'll put this as my 18. Yeah, there we go. So my 18 there, that way on a future turn, if I roll 2 6s, I could put the 12 here, and then on a future turn I could put the 6 here. That way I'm still in compliance, left to right, low to high, that kind of thing. And that's how you would manage that. And because if I were the first player to completely fill all of these spaces, I would be able to fill that up. And the points, the dollar symbols above, that indicates your score for that row. So in this case, it'd be 35 plus 35 plus 35 plus 90. And then I would score that up here for the max. I would also observe the max value listed right here. If you happen to roll something that you don't like, you have to play it. Let's say you're forced to take a really crappy roll and fill in something. You have to do it. If it so happens that you roll something and you can't do anything with it, you have to pick one of these rows and completely just... Let's say you had like a 2 here. You have to completely cross the rest of it off and you cannot use that row anymore. And then just simply add up your score here, which would be 10. Yeah, again, I can't use this thing. So we'll do that. And that would be, again, you get $10 for this residential that you filled in here. So 10 here. So if you can't place something, like I said, you have to, if you can. But if you can't, you have to cross the rest of a row off, add up your score for that, and then that's locked in for the rest of the game. So yeah, you're going to be continuously taking turns, rolling dice, one at a time, filling these in. You can share spaces. So, for example, if someone puts, say, a 3 here and a 5 here, that will not affect your ability to put numbers into these residential spaces. The green spaces are shareable. They're not unique. The ones that are unique are these yellow ones. The first 2 places, for example, or the second 2, those are unique. These transportation lines are unique, so if I fill in the red, then someone else has to cross off the red because they can't take it, that kind of thing, and so on. So yeah, all in all, a really cool game. I like that, developers are coming up with these little games that are print and play. Again, it's $3. Should you want to pick it up on the website that I linked in the below description, or you can come to Tabletop Simulator and try your hand at it here. If you have any questions, the designer left his contact information here. Table Flips You on Twitter. Contact flipthetable@gmail.com should you want to contact them directly. So there you go. If you guys haven't already subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube, that way you can stay up to date with any new content I'm going to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.